Hello everyone, and welcome to Springing Art. I'm Becky. I'm happy to have you here today. This is the June challenge for Nate's Art Lab, our Patreon group with Nate Bright. And our challenge this month was to create rainbow colored paintings. So as you see here, I'm starting to do my rainbow stripes. This is about plan G or H, or I don't even know where it was, but I've had several failures along the way. So right now I'm just planning to do a plain and simple swatch. I put a couple of drops of silicone oil into my white, and that's what I did my pull with. And I ended up with a painting that worked out okay for what I wanted, and put it on the drying rack, and at some point in time it got a great big boo-boo. So now we're on to plan IJK. I decided that I was going to do a collage. I'm going to cut up take the canvas. There's the boo-boo. Okay, I'm going to cut this painting off of its frame, and this was also started off as a rainbow, and I'm going to cut the one you just saw off the frame and work on the collage. Okay, so I used a cutting mat, a knife, and a ruler to cut 1-inch strips from the different pieces of canvas that I had. Here I'm cutting one piece. I've tried to cut them into sections that are predominantly one color. I went on to Cricut Design Space to look for a rainbow, and somehow or another, in the middle of the rainbows, there was a mushroom, and I fell in love with the mushroom. So here he is, and we're going to put our stripes underneath the mushroom and have the rest of the mat be solid color. So you'll see the rainbow under the mushroom. Here you'll see me start to organize the different colors. What position am I going to put them in? What direction am I going to put them in? I worked on that for a while. Okay, somewhere along this process I became an overachiever. I decided I needed a background. I was using a pre-used wooden canvas. I think it's 12-inch wooden canvas, and it needed to have a base of some kind on it. I decided that we should do a collage with brightly colored jelly papers. Decided to make a few jelly prints to do the background. I wanted them to be bright colored, cheery, and rainbow. If you wonder why the plates look different, the one on the left that I'm putting blue on right now is a commercial plate that I purchased. The one on the right is a DIY plate that I made. Here on the right, I've done some background and put 2 stencils on it. On the left, on the commercial plate, I've put down a blue background and I'm adding some texture pieces to it. I'll be using some old jelly prints. You can see that I have a stack of them here, as well as the new ones that I've just printed. And the first step in dealing with them is to rip the white off of the edges. After I do that, I'm going to rip them into approximately 1-inch strips like I did the canvas, and stick those in a stack, and we'll see what kind of colors we end up with. The basic process to doing the collage using jelly papers is to get some gel gloss medium. Can be any brand. I think this is from Jerry's. I take either a brush or a sponge brush and apply that to the substrate, and then I take my strips, I put my strips on, and I cover the sides with the strips, and actually glue them onto the back. I'm not worried about the back, but I want to make sure that the sides are completely covered as well. I decided that the canvas strips under my mushroom are going to go horizontally, so I thought I would do these jelly paper strips diagonally for some difference in directionality. After placing the jelly strip on the glued surface, then I'm going to take my brush and some more of the gel medium and brush over the edges and the entire surface of the paper. That will glue it down, all the edges and everything, to the substrate. Obviously, I've skipped a fairly large section here, and we're almost at the end line. We're putting the last couple of pieces of paper on. You can see how nicely the papers adhere once you put that gel medium over the top of them. I want to put my canvas strips into the mushroom shape, so I'm tracing my mushroom onto a piece of canvas. A piece of paper, and I will glue the canvas strips onto the paper, and then I'll cut them to the exact mushroom shape later. I have the tracing finished of my mushroom and I'm starting to lay out my colors. I do want to lay them in a rainbow color combination, so it'll be orange, yellow, green. You'll see as I go along here. When I get to the red, I decided that I needed a little bit more red, so I mixed and matched a couple of pieces. Typical of a collage, just putting things together as you go. And as I'm editing this, I'm still at almost 30 minutes. I'm at 29 minutes, so I'm going to include this process, but I'm going to put it on hyperspeed. At some point in this process, I realized that the strips were not cut perfectly straight and that I might be able to see the white of the cardstock between the strips, and I didn't want that. So you'll see that I pull out a piece of tissue paper, wet strength tissue paper, and I trace the mushroom to that, and then I glue these pieces onto the tissue paper. When tissue paper is glued down, it becomes transparent, so what you would see between the cracks, if you see anything, will be the base colors from the jelly print collage below it, and those won't be white, so it should just look fine. Okay, it's at about this point that I went, OMG, what have I done? Most of you don't know me, but I'm just your average, regular 74-year-old woman. I like color, but this is overwhelming to me. Where are my sunglasses? However, we're in the middle of the process, so let's play it through. I'm going to put my mushroom stencil on, see what happens now. Blame this on Nate. I sent it to him to see if I could cheer him up, brighten his day, because I knew he hadn't been feeling well and his computer was down, and he loved it and told me to leave it as it was. I was going to put a brown glaze around it or do something to change the background. He said nope. Made him think of tripping on mushrooms. I decided not to ask any more questions. Alright guys, thanks for being here today. I hope this has brightened your day a little bit. Thanks for joining us today at Nate's Art Lab's June collaboration. And come and join us. In case you can't tell, we have a pretty darn good time.